Back at it, Titan Lifestyle.
That's right.
Flex Friday, TGIF, Happy Friday, however you want to call it. The storm's coming in, but I'm still in a great mood. we had another great event last week.
Yeah, man.
So,
huge event.
Great event.
Jason Skelton's Art and Fashion Show, sponsored by, main sponsor was Titan Medical Center. And we were the only other ones that did fashion as far as the fashion show. It was us and Jason Skelton. Obviously, the Titan and Titanettes. Big Drew was a part of that, and we really kicked butt out there. I think it was an awesome event all the way around. A lot of exposure, a beautiful setup as far as all the paintings and art that Jason had there. DJ by DJ Merck, that was awesome. You know, our team behind the scenes did a hell of a job getting all the models ready, getting everything organized, and getting everything set. And, securing the bag, basically, making sure that we, came through as we always do as Titans, and to the top quality standard that you guys have all seen from us before. So it was a hell of an event, man. Looking forward to a next one. Got some really cool events we'll talk about at the end of this show that we got coming up before the end of the year. But let's get into it. All right. So let's talk about the therapy of the week, man.
Good one.
Yeah, PT-141. PT-141 is an awesome peptide, right? Now, this is a libido-enhancing peptide. It works both for males and females out there. It's got FDA approval, and that was originally for female libido enhancement. And it works a little bit different than anything out there that is for libido enhancement or erectile dysfunction. So, obviously the big go-tos out there for guys for erectile dysfunction is going to be Viagra or Cialis, sildenafil or tadalafil. Those are the main ones that you see out there. There's one or two other ones. There's an injection trimix and another one out there too. But, the females out there need some love. And that's where PT-141 really came into play. This is something that was originally created to resolve female sexual dysfunction by stimulating the melanocortin receptors in the brain. It works to stimulate sexual arousal for both men and women, the exact same. It also has other positive benefits like boosted energy and maybe even more of a natural tan for you guys. So it's got some other benefits to it. Now, it's not going to turn you dark or anything like that. There's another peptide out there, MT2, basically, and melanotan 2, and that's going to definitely get you a lot darker if you're looking for that. But with this, it works awesome. Now, in men, it can provide spontaneous erections that require no physiological stimulus. So at that point, you don't got to think about it. You don't got to feel, touch. You're going to get an erection when you use this. Females is going to be awesome too. Now, usually females are not stimulated by physical touch, or maybe you saying something to them, but they're more inclined to be stimulated
by the wallet.
By
your wallet.
or intelligence, or like girls like, oh, that guy's so funny, ha ha ha. Yeah. You're like, how did this guy score this girl? Because he's so funny, too. Right? Yeah, confidence is another one. I think confidence, that exudes from anybody.
Yeah.
And I don't care if you have that confidence, you can wear a trash bag down the street and still pull.
Yeah, it is like that, dude. It was like, why is this guy or why is this girl with it? They just have the confidence. Yeah,
it's crazy. It's definitely crazy how it is, but this is something that will work very well for both males and females. Transportation rate. So the transportation that you're going to get out of this, you can use injectable or you can use an oral form. And we have PT-141 by itself, or we can have like Cupid's candy that has PT-141, tadalafil, and oxytocin. Hypoactive sexual desire disorder, HSDD. So this is very common in women, right? And it's a very treatable medical condition, but there wasn't a lot of treatments out there for it. Now, PT-141 has came in and really took it over this for women out there. Men too, right? So men could have these issues as far as sexual desire, sexual confidence. So this can definitely ignite things, and it helps with the brain, right? As far as that stimulation and drive from the brain, not just the physical stimulation, because blood flow and in some of these different medications like sildenafil and tadalafil, they're vasodilators, so suppressing these blood, going down to the extremities, and then getting the erection. But the true libido effect.
There's nothing like stimulating both areas. I know, although a lot of time guys will take a Viagra or a Cialis, which is just like John said, tadalafil or sildenafil.
Yeah.
It'll make them have the ability to perform. It'll give them the erection, but their mind's kind of not into it. It is what it is.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, kill two birds with one stone, where you could actually, quote unquote, be horny, your libido.
Yes.
When you hear the word libido, that basically means your sex drive, being quote unquote horny.
Yeah.
So it's good to have, to be horny and to be able to perform. Because sometimes guys are really, really horny, or their libido is through the roof, but then they can't perform.
Absolutely.
So as a woman, a lot of women, they don't realize that it's not really a mental thing.
Yep.
You know, we may love you, may like you, maybe we may want it.
Yep.
But just physically not performing. So to be able to have both of them
is the best.
That's when you have that, you know, that Hakuna Matata, where there's no worries. You just go into the situation,
ready to go.
You go into the situation, you're ready to go, no worries. So
yeah,
guys know what I mean when they say no worries. So
you know, and this is a good one for even like, you know, it's not just for bodybuilders, but it'd be a good one for bodybuilders out there too, right?
Oh, yeah,
if you're
pump.
competing, pump. More maybe boosted energy, and then the skin pigmentation if you can tan with it, because it's not going to have to get a whole bunch of UV rays and all this stuff, different stuff that could possibly damage your skin or fuel skin cancers and some effects to some people. So I want to definitely look at stuff like that. With the Cupid's candy, we're talking about PT-141 with tadalafil and then oxytocin. So this can restore feelings of closeness and intimacy, the oxytocin portion of it. Tadalafil will actually, vasodilate, giving the blood flow to the extremities. And then you can have PT-141 to stimulate the sex drive in the brain. So these are a triple effect here. It's Cupid's candy. This one's definitely good. And you can share it with your partner. So you and your partner can both take this and both get the feelings of these things and probably have a better experience together all the way around.
Yeah, and just think about couples that have been together, or married, or just together for years and years. They've been sexually active with each other for years and years. Now they can take it to the next level. So
absolutely.
When the sex gets boring, quote unquote, it's a chance to take it to the next level. A lot of people say the married life, the sex gets boring and kind of routine.
Yeah.
So it's a good way to spark it back. If you have a weekend getaway, or if you have an anniversary coming up, you and your wife or girlfriend get them both together, or a trip or something like that. It'd be
it's going to be key.
Yeah.
It'll be key for you guys.
You always think you're doing something good until you can do it better.
Absolutely.
So you don't know if you guys have never taken Cialis, you've never taken Viagra, which is sildenafil and tadalafil.
Yeah.
If you guys have never taken that, you're like, I don't need it. Just try it one time, and then you'll see what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah.
You may not need it, but you'll definitely notice the difference.
You're definitely going to increase your game.
And she'll notice the difference.
And she will definitely notice the difference, like, what is going on with you, right? Listen, just for me, like, I've tried all these different things, right? And I can tell you for sure, 100% they're going to work. Even for somebody like me, right? And usually I don't have to take anything like this. I have no issues or problems like that. My HRT is definitely taking me to the next level as far as the bedroom too as well. But I can tell you this, that if you have any self-confidence issues, right? Now mentally, this could definitely help you out, right? Because physically you might not have an issue. But mentally, you might. It might be a bad experience you've had in the past. You're real nervous with the girl you're going out with, whatever it may be. So this can definitely take you to that next level, give you that self-confidence too as well. And you don't have to have a problem to use this. For guys like me, like just for me, like if I take this, Sharice will definitely know, and she definitely will not be happy when I take it.
Yeah.
The only reason I say that is because for me, when I take sildenafil or tadalafil by itself, I get the blood flow effect, and honestly, for me, I almost go numb. So
because it gets to be so extreme.
It just you got so much blood flow in there. The erection is just so powerful at that point that you really start losing feeling with that. Now, when you use the PT-141 with the oxytocin effect, you actually get more sensitivity or pleasure out of it as far as that goes. And you're getting everything involved. So it might be a good one to use if you're at that level. I don't hear a lot of guys complain about stuff like that. Usually, I get the question, hey, listen, what do you got for, pre-ejaculation? Some guys get excited too quick and don't last too long, where sildenafil and tadalafil should extend, whatever you're doing, right? Yeah. And even if it doesn't extend the first time, you'll be ready to go for a second time. And we're ready to rock and roll, and hopefully that'll extend for a longer period of time for that situation scenario that you're in for the second time. But it's a great one. PT-141 is an awesome peptide. If you guys want to use this, don't worry, you don't need to do a blood work for it. All you have to do is fill out the new patient paperwork. You'll do a medical consult with our provider, and if you're not in the state of Florida or not coming down to the office, don't worry, because we service nationwide. The only state is Idaho we're not in, but other states we can help you guys out with whatever services we offer, but including PT-141 or any libido enhancer that we have, okay? And we've got some new ones that we're working on too as well, that we will probably be releasing here in a couple months. but I've been working on some different formulations.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. So, at that point, I might increase some different dosages on some of these different medications, and might add, 1 or 2 little things in here that I think will be valid to help you guys perform better and to make the experience better too as well.
Yeah, because this is just our therapy of the week. We do have other stuff for this.
For sure.
We have Superman and stuff like that too.
Yeah.
So last thing, John said it's available in injectable or an oral.
Yes.
If it's an injectable, don't worry, you will not have to inject your penis.
Yes.
You're not going to be injected.
Yes.
There are certain things out there that's like next level, whatever, that you actually do inject that area to make it hard.
Yes.
This is not that. I believe it's sub-Q.
Yeah. Sub-Q in the stomach area or any subcutaneous area, fatty area around the
So
stomach.
basically just squeeze your stomach, put it in there, or you can order it in capsule form. So don't worry if you heard injectable and you all of a sudden tuned away.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that you're injecting that area.
No, we have oral versions of PT-141 too as well for you guys. The injection is what is the FDA approved one, and we can do it orally too as well. It's not a problem. It's with a little insulin needle, so it's not a big harpoon testosterone needle that you guys got to worry about.
Yeah. Small needle like the one I showed you. If you guys watched last week, I showed you exactly the size of the needle. It's about the size of an earring back lengthwise, but it's a hell of a lot thinner.
Yeah.
It's real thin. So if you take a look at it right here,
It's a ½ inch.
You guys could probably barely even see that.
Right? And it's really small as far as diameter. We're talking about on this, this is a 30 gauge.
Yeah.
So 30 gauge is diameter around the needle, how big it is as far as that goes.
Yeah. The bigger the number, the smaller the needle. So if you guys are ordering needles, or if you guys see needles, or your medical provider sends you needles, if you see one that says 18 or 20, do not inject yourself with that. A lot of times, sometimes the medical providers will send a larger needle that you could use. You're using that to pull it into the syringe. It's usually oil-based testosterone cypionate. You're pulling it into the syringe. If you get that pink needle, it's like a pinkish color, generic ones or whatever. If it's 18 or 20, if it looks thick, that's only used to pull it out. If you put that into you, you're going to put a hole in you. You're going to harpoon yourself.
And I definitely had patients do it.
Yeah, I've done it by accident before 2 years ago. It was a nightmare. But you're going to have scar tissue too.
Man, it's a big needle, John. Like, how are you doing this every week?
I don't know.
Dude, I'm like, it's not with that needle.
Yeah.
But PT-141 is water-based too as well, so it's not oil-based, so it's not thick. The viscosity's not there, so it's gonna absorb very well. Subcutaneous, you can shoot intramuscular if you really wanted to, but it's real simple and easy to do if you're gonna do the injection. You say you don't like injections, no problem. You can have the oral form, troche form, and sublingual. Not an issue there. You'll get great absorbency out of that, not as much as the injection, but it will be a good absorbency to be able to work properly for you guys out there. All right? So, call or text us, 727-389-3220. And if you guys have any concerns or have any questions about hormone replacement therapy, medical weight loss, injectable vitamin amino acid therapies, relationship, bedroom enhancing therapies, like the one we just talked about, or more, blood work nationwide, peptide therapies, IV therapies, all this is nationwide service for you guys. Just contact us if you guys want to read up more about this afterwards. Go to titanmedicalcenter.com or even check out the videos on YouTube. They'll explain some of those in layman terms for you guys if you still don't understand. Plus, we got a cool content on there for you guys to look at. All right, so the next one. Let's go on to the next. FDA may have unintentionally, made NyQuil chicken go viral on TikTok.
Yes.
I've seen this.
It's crazy. I mean, if you guys don't know, if you've been in a cave somewhere. All over my feeds, all over the news, people are basically cooking chicken in NyQuil. They're basically using it. They're basically just using it as the fluid. So basically, you would just fill up the same way you'd use grease. But they're filling up with NyQuil, or they're injecting the chicken with NyQuil with syringes, or they're like coating it like barbecue sauce and cooking it. Basically, what they're trying to do is almost like the quote sipping syrup. When these guys are sipping codeine, and they're basically taking medication that their body doesn't need to make them drowsy or make them feel a certain way, and then now they're incorporating food with it. But to make a long story short, the FDA has been all over the news saying how bad it is. They're warning people not to do it. But from them doing that, people are like, oh, wait, why not? And then they're trying it out.
Right.
So it's kind of one of those situations where, if enough people are saying something bad about something, people are going to try it.
I mean, how many of these stupid ass challenges are people really going to get on board with? Right? Now it's NyQuil and chicken. Obviously, this is not going to be a good combination. Yeah, the Tide Pods.
Oh, yeah.
Right? I mean, you have all these stupid ass little challenges that people want to get on the bus with and get hurt with. I mean, or to some degree, or maybe hurt themselves or somebody else with. I mean, you drink enough of these medications like NyQuil. That's called like robo-tripping, right? That's what they call it to a certain extent. I know with like lean and stuff like that, you're sipping on scissor.
I would never.
That's one thing. I know, like there was just these things called triple C's, and basically what they are, they're congestion medication for people that have high blood pressure. And if you take enough of them, they start making you like trip a little bit. I mean, it's just, this is back in college. People were doing this back in the day, But why? Like, why? It can't taste good.
The thing is when I first heard about it, I was like, that blue nasty NyQuil. Right? Like, I mean, they have cherry or whatever, but even that, it's medicine flavor. Yeah. Even if it did taste good, I don't understand. Yeah. There's plenty of barbecue sauces or marinades that taste a hell of a lot better. And I feel like, with the younger kids, they hear this and they're probably doing it right now. Right. They're like, oh, I want to see what's going to happen. It may not even do anything to them if they eat it. It may not make them feel drowsy, whatever. Right. But psychologically, they're going to be like, oh yeah, it's just. And again, the FDA has been all over every type of social media feed, all over, everywhere. I've even seen it on the local news are saying about it. So just from people talking about something so much, people are going to try it. One of our topics today is one that John's going to touch base on. Has to do with kids. Yep. Won't give out the topic yet, but it's a similar situation. If a whole bunch of kids see something, even if it's bad, even if it's damaging, they're going to try it. So social media is just, it's getting bad. It could be good in a certain way where, if it's snowballing kids into being positive or even people being positive. Right. But nowadays, as soon as they say don't do this, people are going to do it, and that's what the FDA did, and it's still going on. I'm still hearing, even before I came in today, I'm seeing stuff about the NyQuil and chicken. People still doing it, new videos coming up. It's just... It's ridiculous. Yeah. It's ridiculous. I've taken NyQuil before when I was younger, to try to help me sleep. Yeah. But even then, now I wouldn't do it. Right. Because I don't need an antihistamine. I don't need a decongestant. All I need is something to help me sleep. Like Serenity, and GABA, or tryptophan, or whatever. So true. If these people really want to feel a certain way, if they're old enough to drink, have a couple glasses of wine, or I don't know, but it's just it's bad. Bad. What happens with this is it's NyQuil. Now people are going to look for something stronger and cook that. Right. Like you mentioned, codeine. Yep. These guys sipping on syrup, all these rappers talking about sipping on Purple Cup and all this stuff. Yep. Next thing you know, they're going to be dunking chicken in that and cooking that. Because if at the next level, what are they going to be? What are they going to be doing next? Putting cocaine on chicken and trying it, and cooking your chicken, season your chicken with cocaine, and the next thing you know, everyone's dying. Breaded cocaine chicken. Yeah. What are we talking about here, man? Man. If you're ignorant enough to follow one of these challenges and do something like this, I don't know what to tell you guys. The IQ factor for you guys is very low. There's so many ways that people are like. I've never seen it like. The past 10 years, everybody's just always has to be intoxicated or something. Right. Caffeine is like the number one abused drug, ever. For sure. Caffeine is crazy. You can see. I see kids 10 years old drinking Bang energy drinks, which is garbage. 300 milligrams of caffeine. Yes. And they're drinking them, and the parents don't know that it's bad enough, so they're letting them kid. They're at the store. Oh, pick out what flavor you want. Fruit punch. They just think it's a drink. Now the kid's adrenal and is It's getting worse and worse. It's wrecking. And the testosterone levels is going like this because of all of this stuff. I remember when I was a kid, it was there was 4 drugs that people did. Yeah, yeah, for sure. It was you hear about them in school. It was cocaine, marijuana, or maybe ecstasy. And now it's okay, let me go to the CVS or let me go to the, and just look at stuff that makes me drowsy and just take a bunch of it. Yeah, it's crazy. Even and then take a whole bunch of caffeine pills to wake me back up. Yeah. It's you're playing with your body. You keep going up and going down. If you're taking high amounts of caffeine and then you're trying to bring your heart rate back down. Yeah. It's your body is not supposed to be doing these things, and at that point, it's gonna have negative effects on youth that are abusing their bodies now. Right now, it's not hurting them. I'm fine. 10 years, 20 years, 30 years from now, that's when you're really gonna get the effects of what you're doing to yourself right now. Yeah, because we're at the age where we know what it was like before the whole social media and all that. And then now we know what it's like, obviously working in it and dealing with it all the time, we know what it's like. But for kids that have no clue, for a kid that was born in 2005, 2004, he's 18 years old now. That's the only thing they know. Yeah. They don't know. So the thing is and their systems are messed up. Because of all they're messed up. It just... Oh, man.
And they're going to be coming to us later on when they need to get corrected. I mean, this is going to affect a whole bunch of different things.
And what happens is when people start using NyQuil and this and that, after a while, if they start doing it all the time, they need more and more and more and more. So now they're literally drinking a whole bottle of NyQuil to go to bed at night.
Right.
And then they're taking 2 or 3 caffeine pills and drinking an energy drink to wake up during the day.
Right.
And they're up and down, up and down. And after a while, people realize, people are starting to think that they need something. They can't do it alone.
Right.
Almost the same way why an alcoholic needs alcohol to function.
Yep.
Or they need, I need caffeine, all right? Even being a bodybuilder, going to the gym all the time, I feel like, oh, I need a boost, I need this. Some days I don't.
Right.
Some days, as long as I get enough eat and enough rest, take my Hercules,
of course.
I'm good. I don't need the ECA that day.
Of course.
But certain days I may need the ECA or this and that, but you guys don't always need something. Try it natural first. Yeah. Try to get natural sleep first, natural energy first, before you resort to drinking NyQuil and cooking NyQuil and popping energy drinks. And next thing you know, you'll be drinking 2 or 3 energy drinks and you still go to bed. Does nothing.
That's the problem, man. People, they burn out, their sensors basically when they're drinking so much caffeine. Their adrenals are shot.
I was like that way for a while.
I mean, you're drinking, 500-600. I know some people are 1,000 milligrams of caffeine a day. I'm like,
that's like a standard.
Way too much, man. I mean, so at that point, you're going to need more. It's like nitrous to a car. If you don't know what that is, it's something that's going to make the car boost and give it faster. But to start that engine every time, if you keep boosting it, you're going to need to start using the nitrous to even start the engine. And that's not how you want your body to run. You want your body to run good.
It takes a long time for people that are used to, even people working out that take caffeine or take some stuff every time. It takes a while for people to stop it.
Yep.
I see people in the gym, they're like, hey, what's going on? I'm like, oh man, I'm just trying to, I'm off caffeine. Like they talk about like it's heroin. Like, I just kicked caffeine, so I'm trying to deal with it right now. I'm like, wow, this is crazy. Man. If you could do it on your own, do it on your own.
Yeah, definitely.
200 milligrams is all you really need. ECA, what we have here at Titans, 200 milligrams, that's all you need.
Yep.
If you have something crazy going on, you can take 2 a day, but don't take 2 at once.
Yep.
8 to 12 hours apart, you're good to go.
Yeah, I think the daily amount of recommended caffeine is 400 milligrams a day. That's the recommended dose daily. To be safe, I guess, is what they're putting it at. For me, I would say 200. I wouldn't even go for it. The less you need, the better it is, right? As long as you're getting a good effect, the less you have, the better it is. All right, so let's get into the next one. Kids out there taking it and committing suicide. Ronnie Coleman opened up on the horrifying situation of bodybuilding without any governing body. So he was on Joe Rogan, and obviously, Ronnie Coleman is he's a legend in bodybuilding. This guy, Mr. Olympia, multiple titles, still looked at to this day, as the GOAT, right? This guy was big. 8 times consecutively Mr. Olympia. That's a hell of a way, to go out. But, he's still around, right? He's got his own supplement line. He goes to the shows. His body's wrecked from bodybuilding. Back, and I don't know how many surgeries he's had.
12 or 13.
Barely walk and all this other stuff. So, when Ronnie Coleman starts talking about, he starts talking about testosterone or PEDs, anabolic steroids. And usually when you talk about anabolic steroids, it always gets put back on bodybuilding, juice heads, gym rats, whatever you want to call us. At that point, this is kind of crazy because he's starting to talk about, like, when he started first competing, he was, not doing as well as some of the other competitors. Mm. So he said all the other competitors were taking steroids. So he had to go to that level to get up to competing status with all these other guys and be on the same level.
The famous Kevin Laverne.
Yes.
When he went to Kevin Laverne's hotel the night before, and he's like, hey, what are you guys doing?
Yeah.
And then Kevin was like, oh, really? You're okay, this is what we're doing.
Yeah.
Next year, Ronnie came back and won 8 times in a row.
Yeah. It's pretty crazy, but this is true. So there's no governing body in the sport of bodybuilding that looks over steroids and steroid abuse in particular, because there's a lot of people in the industry, they're abusing a lot of drugs, and they might look great on the outside, but these guys are not healthy on the inside.
Yeah, blood work's terrible.
Yeah, blood work's terrible, right? And we've had some other past stars with, we've dealing with liver damage or failure, or kidney damage or kidney failure. We've lost a lot of people in the sport over the years, especially in the last couple of years. Heart issues, suicide in some of them. There's definitely been a lot of crazy things, but the younger guys that are coming into the sport or coming into the industry or even at the gym, right? They want to get big, right? They want to look like the guy that's there and just dominating. Looks like Big Drew, right? And they come with the Big Drew, like, and Big Drew's not doing this, but hey, Big Drew, how do I get as big as you, man? What do I do? And these guys are pointing them in the direction of anabolic steroids. Depending on what their age is, they don't care. Yeah. They don't have anything on the line for these guys. And they tell them, hey, listen, get this. And they're selling the drugs right there on the spot. Or they get in the coach and the coach is selling the drugs or tell them where to get the drugs. And at that point, there's nobody that's overlooking these people. And the coaches think that they're doctors in some instances, not all coaches out there. But they're like, oh, yeah, get blood work and then bring me the blood work. And then they're going to read your blood work off and tell you they're not doctors.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, what
the hell is wrong with you coaches out there? I'm going to call all you guys out that think you guys can read blood work. Why? Because a medical provider showed you blood work one time and read your blood work, and now you think you know what the hell it is? Yeah. It's not true. Like, I'll never be like, hey, listen, let me read over your blood work and tell you exactly what you need to do. I'm never going to do that. I'm going to say, listen, the medical provider is going to do it. I might have some inclination of might go on, but I'm never going to say, hey, listen, you're going to take this, and this at this dose, this time, and this is what you're going to run for this long of a cycle. I mean, come on, dude. Now, I understand it doesn't matter what we say today. There's going to be people who are going to do it no matter what.
Yeah. And a lot of bodybuilders, too, they've for years and years and years, they don't actually tell people. I know bodybuilders are happily married with kids that have been taking steroids with no breaks for over 5 years, and their wife doesn't know.
Yes.
What kind of? I mean,
it's true.
There's literally probably 50% of bodybuilders are like that.
Yep.
Their wife doesn't know, or they just tell their wife, "Oh, I'm just taking HRT," so that way if they see something, they're like, "Oh, it's HRT," but they're not actually reading the label saying, "This is trenbolone. There's no such thing as trenbolone in HRT."
What doctor you get this from?
Yeah.
Dr. Street.
Yeah. And another thing too is if you guys are taking steroids, anabolic steroids, if you've been taking them for a while, if you feel like you can't live without them, you don't want to lose your size, you don't want to lose your reputation, this and that. Larry Wheels is a prime example.
Yep.
Larry Wheels abused steroids from the time he was 15 till last year, or till 6 months ago.
Yep.
Strongest person on the planet.
Yep.
18 years old, one of the strongest people on the planet as an 18, 19-year-old. Bench presses 600. Deadlift, squatted 900 pounds barefoot 2 weeks before a competition at low body fat. Crazy, right?
Yep.
Now, he's on only HRT. If you go to any of his videos, he's promoting, I'm on only HRT. So now he's competing in powerlifting and bodybuilding only on HRT.
Right.
And he's still strong.
Of course.
He got 700 pounds for 10 reps on HRT. So if you guys think, oh, I need it. Even Larry Wheels, who's like literally the GOAT of strength.
Yeah.
Even he's realizing that he doesn't need it. No. And not only that, Larry Wheels is a ripped up in shape guy. So it's not like he's a guy that, he's still ripped up in shape.
Yep.
So it's not like he needed that or needed, all the enhancement. All he needs is, I think he said he's doing 180 or 160 milligrams of testosterone, which is about right for HRT.
Yeah, it's comparable.
And obviously his anti-estrogens or whatever else, but all doctor prescribed, all regulated.
Right.
And he said he feels amazing. His skin's clearing up. He used to have like welts all over his His skin's clearing up. He's in a better mood. You can see it in his face.
Yeah.
And he's still lifting like crazy.
Yeah.
So you guys don't necessarily need it. If you've been taking it for 10 years and you don't know what it is like to take without it, try it without it. You might not even need it. It's a mental thing. Like, oh, I need my caffeine every day. You may not need it.
Yes.
I ain't take this, otherwise you may not need it.
Yes. I mean, guys, it's crazy out there because you've got the very small percentage of people who look amazing, right? That are taking steroids, and that's fine. And then you have, I would say at least, 80% or 90% of the population out there. And I see it every single day. I go on forums, I'm in these groups and all that. And these guys are taking massive amounts of drugs. Massive amounts.
And look like crap.
Yeah. And look, what are you doing? Like, I gotta ask, man, it's either your stuff not working, you're not working hard enough, your diet's not on point, because, I mean, you're taking all this stuff and you look like garbage. I mean, come on, dude. If you're not, seeing results or not changing, what the hell are you even taking the drugs for?
Yeah.
To stay in that shape?
And the thing is, to stay looking regular.
You look like a sack of potatoes.
Now I could see if you're, I'm not going to say I recommend it, but I could see if someone's a power lifter or they're a performance athlete, or if they take it, even though their body doesn't look any better, now they're, if you're a cyclist, you're getting better times. If you're a runner, you're getting better lifts or stronger. But if you're not doing any of that, and everything is literally off of the mirror, like a lot of people that go to the gym, everything is off of the mirror. They don't play sport, they don't powerlift. They just want to look a certain way.
Yeah.
If the mirror has not changed, then something is going on. Right? I mean, all these guys are buying these cheap anabolics or cheap PEDs, and they're getting stuff that's not real. And what happens is if you don't come to a place like Titan or wherever you decide to go for HRT, if you don't come to a place like this, you spend your money, and then now you have to wait to see if the stuff is good. So this isn't a situation where, say if it's a food, you taste the food, you know what, oh, this tastes good right away. I don't know, if it's alcohol, you may drink it. Oh, I feel a little bit, you might feel it right away. When it comes to stuff like this, it takes 2 weeks, sometimes months to kick in. Of course. So if you get it from some guy at the gym because it's cheap, and it's, I don't want to spend that, I don't want to go into the doctor. And then now you may wait 2 months and find out it's not real. Or even 3 or 4 months. Or you may think it's real, and you're looking the same way, and you're all gassed up thinking you're taking something that's real. Then you'll get your blood work done, and your blood work's a 408, which mine was. So I was there.
I'm telling you guys.
I was there. I was like, wait a minute. My blood work when I first came to Tech was a 408. I'm thinking it's going to be through the roof. I'm like, wait a minute. Whoa. Wait a minute. HRT, blood works better. Skin cleared up. I used to have those big welts just like Larry Wills all over my back and everything. So it is, and plus the diet helps too.
Of course.
Once I kicked that McDonald's, my skin cleared up a little bit.
All these things go together, right? It's all about combining everything that we're talking about and creating that healthy lifestyle and habits for yourself. And more is not necessarily better, right? There's only so much testosterone that you're going to be able to take that's really going to make a difference in changing some things, right? Obviously, your genetics is going to play a key, and then after genetics, that's where maybe testosterone could possibly take you to another level as far as the way your body's going to look. But you got to do it right, man. You got to do it right, and it's not something that's going to be shortcutted. You could expedite some results in some ways, but people are always looking for these damn shortcuts, and they're not wanting to put in the work. They want instant gratification without doing shit, and that's a problem.
Because and the thing that's messed up too, when people take testosterone outside of HRT, or some guys get HRT and then take also out. When you do all that, it's like you don't really, you can't really gauge exactly the milligrams that you're taking. So a lot of times when guys take more than what the doctor recommends, or they take other stuff on the side, they're literally waiting for negative side effects to happen just to see if the stuff they're taking is real. So in other words, if I take a certain, if I take something, this thing I take makes me sweat profusely. Okay, so guys will take it, even though their body doesn't look any different. If they start sweating, they'll be like, oh yeah, this is real, this is good. Or if they take a high concentrated blend of garbage, any blend you see, like we have blends here, which is like propionate, cypionate. But if you see these blends of like 5 different steroids and it's all compact into one little thing, they'll take it and they'll be like, oh yeah, my arm's so sore, it's so strong. I'm like, because it's probably contaminated, it's probably crystallized. They're like, oh my god, this stuff is so strong, my arm is on fire. I'm like, yeah, well that doesn't mean it's, no. I could punch you in your arm and it'll be on fire. It doesn't mean it's
super fiery punches you. Watch out. But yeah, man, this is something that it's crazy, and we should definitely be putting out there a better example for the younger guys coming up.
I think they should implement blood work. I think if you're a professional bodybuilder in the IFBB, you have to turn in your blood work at least twice a year. I think so too. I feel like it should be a mandatory thing. Okay, as soon as they hand you your program, you are now a pro. You have to go get your blood work done. You have to give them your blood work. And that's like part of your I'm a professional now, I'm doing this the right way going into. And then every 6 months or every quarterly, 6 months, however they want to do it, I feel like you should have to get your blood work done. Because some of these guys are literally like the Walking Dead. They are at these shows. For sure, literally Walking Dead. 100%. And then if we were to catch this, or if they would have been like, no, then they would. But a lot of guys, I know people that just don't get their blood work done because they know it's going to be bad.
Exactly.
So like, it's been 10 years. I don't even want to know what it is. I don't even want it. You don't know you're going to die? Like, you got people that care about you if you die? Like,
no, you know what happens is these people wait until it's too late, and then they care.
Yeah, now they're like,
then you're done, dude. You're over with, you know.
Then your kidneys are gone. Everything's gone.
Dude. I mean,
and there's no going back.
It's a shame that people are worried about checking on themselves because they think something's going to come back bad or something already is bad, and they're just in denial. and just want to keep riding till the wheels fall off.
I want to know what's going to happen, because obviously people have been dying every year. Bodybuilders have been dying every year. I want to know what is the one thing that's going to actually open up people's eyes, because people will die literally backstage at a bodybuilding show.
Yep.
Oh, they took too much diuretics and they passed out. Next thing you know, they die.
Yep.
Oh, okay. It's kind of like you feel bad for 24 hours, and then it's just like, oh, what? Yeah. I want to know what's going to happen where, like, even top bodybuilders in the world, they're like top 5 in the world, even they die. So if they die and people are still, it's almost it's crazy, because I know a lot of people that say, like, if you could have the body of your dreams but die in 15 years, would you take it? And I know like 50% of the people will say easily they'll take it.
I don't know. I wouldn't do that.
No, I know you would.
No, I'm saying personally.
No, but I mean, there's a lot. Even if you Google it, just look at stuff. A lot of people, they're like, yeah, if you could win Mr. Olympia and have the best body ever and be a monster and be able to lift this and that, but you die 20 years earlier, 15 years earlier, people are like, no, bro. Oh yeah, you'll definitely do it. And these are people that are 30 years old. These aren't like 70-year-old people.
Yeah,
you know?
no, man. It's it's
like, is your life really worth having that look?
You know, the younger guys, I understand, because, like I said, priorities have changed over the years. For me, probably for you, Drew, right? Like, when we were 20 years old, we thought these things were the most important things to us, right? And then you move on, you're like, all right, these things are the most important to us. You know, for me, obviously, family, my business, my friends and my family are everything to me. So I want to be around for my kid, for my family, for the business, and experience all these different things. You know, I could care less if I'm the biggest guy in the room anymore. I mean, I think at that point, you know, when you get into this, that's what you want to do to a certain extent. You want to be the biggest, leanest you could possibly be. But at that point, you know, what are you giving up? What are you sacrificing? What are you risking to do this?
Yeah, that's what I used to say for so many years. People would be like, how big are you going to get? I'm like, as long as there's somebody bigger than me, I'm not big enough.
You know, I see something.
That mentality was with me for up until maybe 2 years ago. I mean, now I'm just comfortable with eating right, taking stuff how you're supposed to take it, feeling a lot better.
Yeah.
Waistline got a lot smaller, so I feel a lot better now.
That's how it's supposed to be. I mean, listen, you know, if you're going to compete, I understand that. And nothing's probably going to stop you from what we're saying to compete and to do all these different things. But just be cautious about things. You know, take your health serious. Make sure you're good. If you're not good, go find help to get good if you possibly can. And then maybe go back to it. I think that before anybody competes, right, or gets a pro card or anything like that, or signs up for their NPC card, that they should have a clearance from a doctor, like a physical. Any other sport that you go into, you usually get cleared by a physician.
It's crazy,
right? At least like a physical, like, hey, listen, everything's okay, right? This would actually take liability, I think, off the IBB and the NPC if anything ever did happen. And if you did blood work along with it, that would be another thing. Now, would that cut down on people, maybe competitors entering contests? Maybe.
Yeah.
But is that going to make it look more like the IBB and the NPC is taking things serious about, you know, the athletes that are competing there and doing the right thing possibly? I think that's the way to go, man. I mean,
I think people too will, people that aren't competing because they're like, oh, it's dangerous. No, I don't want to do that. It's dangerous. Those guys, if they implement the blood work thing or the physical thing, now they might be like, okay, I'm ready to do it now because it's more safe. So you could lose people by giving them the blood work, but you could also gain a lot. And look at the long-term effects. Like, people are going to be living. People are going to know what's going on with their bodies. So, I mean, it's just crazy. Like, you know, Tom Brady or LeBron James, all these guys, they have to get drug tested. They have to get physicals. They have to do this, that, whatever. And they look okay. I mean, to the average person, they probably look like, oh, he's a perfect body.
Right.
But for my world, in the fitness world, those guys are just look like regular people.
They do.
So, I mean, the simple fact that they have to, and then it's just like, you know, the big, huge, ripped up guys can just kill themselves. It's almost it's like a circus.
I mean, it's crazy. Yeah, it's definitely like a circus. I mean, and those guys are one thing, right? But now you're seeing all these females taking high doses of anabolic steroids for bikini.
Yeah, right.
Like, what are you doing?
The only thing that's changing is your voice.
Yeah. Like, and the hair that's going on in your body, all over your body, and your clitoral enlargement.
The hair thins out.
Oh,
I mean, I got thin hair too, so it is what it is.
That's okay.
But I'm a guy.
We're guys, right? We can shave our heads if we want to, walk around and be no problem.
Yeah.
There's only so many girls that are going to be able to pull off that look. And if you got to wear wigs or put extension in your hair, extensions might damage your hair even more. You might lose it along the way. And then if you keep continuously taking these drugs, you know, it might not ever stop. You know, it is what it is. You might have started something and expedited these different things that are happening to you, and they're never going to go back to the way it was.
And it's going to be a slow process too. Like, it's almost like watching a plant grow. If I sit there and watch it every day, I'm not going to notice it. But if I go away for a week and come back, or 2 weeks or a month, these women's voices are slowly changing.
Of course.
Go to some of these women's Instagram pages and look at their physiques, how much muscle and how much big they've got. Look at their voices now. Scroll back to like 2017 and listen to their voices. Now, this isn't someone that went through puberty. This isn't someone who wasn't a full-grown woman.
Right.
This is like a 30-year-old woman who now sounds like me.
Right.
When 5 years ago she didn't sound that way.
Right.
And another thing I have to say about women too, or even guys, a lot of women, I'm telling, this is for the women. A lot of women they say they're anti-performance enhancing, anti-HRT, anti-testosterone.
Yeah.
For them preaching it so much, that is the reason why their significant other is not opening up to them.
Right.
If you guys would just be a little bit more, understanding, and don't just say it's bad, and actually let your husband or actually let your wife, if it's vice versa, talk to you about it. A lot of these men are afraid that if they tell their girlfriend or their wife that they're taking something, they're going to leave them. So what do? They don't tell them. They don't get the blood work done.
Right.
And then 5-10 years later, now they have kidney failure or something because they were too afraid to tell their wife. So now their wife is dealing with a guy with no kidneys when all she had to do was just be, or he, not only the girls or the guys. You got to be more open to what's going on. If your husband's eating McDonald's every single day and smoking cigarettes, drinking beers with his friends on the weekends, that's fine. But if he decides to go HRT and be doctor prescribed and monitored, that's fine too. They just have to know that it would.
Absolutely.
Because no doctor is going to recommend cigarettes, McDonald's, and beer, but they will recommend HRT if you're deficit, and that's something we need to get you optimal.
18-minute warning.
Yeah. So I mean, even with that, you just got to make sure you're open and honest. If your significant other doesn't like these things, because listen, there's a lot of people that aren't educated about testosterone. They think, girls especially, you're going to have roid rage, you're going to do this, you're going to do that, this is going to happen. They have no understanding of really how it should be working with them and getting them to the higher optimal levels and not taking them to extreme exogenous levels.
We deal with you guys once a month having hormonal issues. But that's just the way it is. We have to just accept it.
Of course.
What it is. A lot of these side effects that you ladies are reading about, that's potential side effect. It doesn't necessarily mean it's going to happen.
Right.
So that's just that's another thing you have to consider too. Like a lot of these side effects, read the side effect on vitamin C. It's like this long. It's like Caesars and all this on vitamin C. I mean, if I didn't know what vitamin C was, say if they called it a different name, like just a random pharmaceutical long name, and it had, I'm not taking that. It's vitamin C.
Right.
I'll eat all the oranges I want. I'm fine.
Right. It's true, and this brings you back to the thing that make sure you're going to go, if you're not going to go to Titan, you're going to a credible place. Not just it's $99 a month.
In-house.
The in-house. I mean, there's a lot of bad people in our industry. I'll be the first one to tell you guys that. And in every industry, there's bad and there's good. And there's definitely some bad companies out there. There's doing some bad things to patients that I see. Or you have physicians out there or medical providers that are just in it for the revenue stream, and they're doing things that they shouldn't be doing. They're not monitoring properly, and this is causing issues. When we opened Titan, I wanted it to be very transparent to patients out there. They should be educated about what they're doing, how it's going to work for them, and the possible side effects that could happen, because they should tell you the good, and there should be some bad, if there is possible, that could happen. And that's with anything out there. So make sure you guys are picking something that's quality, that knows what they're doing. They have a good track record. They've been around for a long time. That's the best advice I can give you guys out there. All right. Let's go into the next one. We got 18 minutes left. Fed sees record amount of methamphetamine-laced fake Adderall pills in Rhode Island.
Yes, another reason why it's good to go through a medical provider, not just get it off the street. I mean, that kind of goes hand in hand with what we're saying.
Of course.
People are buying stuff cheap, and they're having problems, or they're they're not getting what they're supposed to be getting. And now Adderall, you guys have probably heard of Adderall. We have stuff here too that will work similar to Adderall without the addictive properties too. Just to throw that out there too, but
not a controlled substance. It's not going to cause you, issues once you get off the medication, or it's not going to make you feel all cracked out too, and your heart racing and beating through your chest. This guy, 27-year-old Dylan Rodis,
over 500,000 counterfeit Adderall pills with methamphetamine. So just imagine those flooding the streets.
660,000. That's a lot of pills. Can you imagine seeing 1,000 pills a lot?
Yeah.
$660,000. I mean, what did he have? A big container in his house? I mean, look at this guy.
Yeah.
Who even gives this guy $660,000? How does this guy have that much money where he's getting $660,000? Look at all the guns.
Wait, go back. I didn't even see. Whoa.
What was the street value, Art?
It's millions. It's like $4 million or something.
Whoa, $4.6 million.
Look at that.
No.
I mean, obviously, this guy he's connected to the cartel or some heavy pusher of this, to get this. And most of the fake stuff that's coming in is coming in from Mexico. So at this point, there's a lot of different things that are getting put on the street. Fentanyl, these fake methamphetamine pills. I mean, I just read. So the other day, there was a raid down in Tampa, down in Ybor. 4 people got arrested in bars and nightclubs.
Oh yeah, the undercovers.
Undercovers, right?
I heard about
It was
that.
Operation Last Call.
Yeah.
And from my standpoint, I think that they should have did a little bit better as far as this goes because they only got the low level guys. They got some girl, they got some bartenders that were putting things under trays and selling drugs like cocaine, Adderall, probably MDMA was another one. But there's other people up there that are pushing these things down to these local little dealers per se that we should really be going after. And these little guys, we need to get them off the street, but 2 or 3 people replace one that gets put off the street. You know what I'm saying? To fill that void. And you're just dealing with it all over again.
Or I've even heard like huge busts where they'll literally send one person.
Yeah.
Literally to get busted on purpose to distract as this truck's going.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean that's a smart move, right?
They're using you as a mule, like you're going to jail for whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Another thing too with these John mentioned people going to Mexico or a lot of them being made in Mexico. There's actually fake counterfeit medication in the pharmacy.
Oh, for sure.
So don't just think because I went to Mexico on vacation and I went in the pharmacy and bought this.
I got Deca, I got all this stuff.
Or even some of the painkillers,
Adderall,
Xanax and Percocets and all that. Some of that stuff is not even what it says it is. So it could be laced with who knows, fentanyl or whatever. I mean, fentanyl, a little bit of that will kill you and everybody else.
Kill you and everybody else for sure. Yeah. Or you might not get anything. It might be a placebo pill. It has nothing in it. You think you're buying this and you're not really getting anything. So it doesn't pay to get things from Mexico either. I mean, because most of those, if you've been to Mexico, if you go there, and especially in the more commonly tourist cities, like
everything's overpriced.
Oh, it's all overpriced. But on the sign, like literally, I go there. Like last time I was there, like they got a picture of Phil Heath on the outside, and like steroids, they have testosterone, Deca, this, that.
When I went to Cozumel. Because they could tell I was a bodybuilder and walk around with a tank top and all that. I was a little bit bigger than. It was just crazy. Like, dude, guys were literally every pharmacy. They were standing outside the pharmacy with a flyer like a club promoter.
Yep.
Hey, what's going on, man? We got this. We got this. We got this. Okay, go inside just to see what's going on. Like these prices. Are
outrageous. Outrageous.
They're trying to sell like 2 mLs of Nandrolone, which is Deca, for $50.
Yeah. Like, dude, you guys are supposed to be cheaper in Mexico, man.
Not only that, you don't know what it is. I mean,
that's
plenty of videos on YouTube where you see fake people going undercover into these Mexican pharmacies and just automatically thinking it's real. Oh, it's a pharmacy, it's real. Maybe if it was over here, it'd be like that. I mean, CVS, Walgreens, a little bit. Maybe if it was in there, it'd be good. But over there, who knows?
Even on that, as far as that goes, so we have the governing FDA, and the FDA is supposed to be looking over these medications, making sure they're approved, and this is what's going into the public hands. In these other countries, they don't have an FDA. And other countries can sell their medication to these pharmacies. So pharmacies can go to France, per se, and buy all the medications, and that's what they're selling to their pharmacy. I know that's how the UK is. So my buddy Harshal lives over in the UK, and he goes in and he tells me, right, we service him here, but if he needs to see a doctor real quick over there, he can go there, and he can get certain things. And once he gets a prescription, he can literally go into the pharmacy, and let's say it's ACG. He can buy 8 or 9 ACGs, and they're from France. You know what I'm saying? So they're not from the UK base. So at that point, you got to watch out where these medications are coming from. Make sure they're going to be good, and just putting your health number one priority. Because I know people out there that they're worried about plant-based or they're vegan or this and that. But when it comes to getting some of this stuff and injecting, it's flowing to the wind. Like, all right, well, you're so worried about this food, but you're not worried about injecting something you have no idea where it's coming from or what it's going to do to you.
Yeah, they'll take organic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got my cage-free bleach. organic everything, and and then they're smoking a cigarette, talking about.
It's just ridiculous, guys. It is. All right, so let's get on to the next one. Last one here. Tampa now has a magic mushroom dispensary.
I did not know that.
This is the first and only one legal in the United States. It's down in Ybor City. This guy, now I was talking to somebody that's been in the cannabis industry for a long time, owns a dispensary and stuff like that. He's like, yeah, I guess this place has been around for a long time. And I guess even before they were selling MDMA out of this place long ago.
Wow.
Now, the magic mushrooms, there's a whole bunch of different mushrooms that they have in here. Now, these mushrooms don't have psilocybin. So, psilocybin is the main chemical ingredient that are in magic mushrooms that, that give you the trip part of it, okay? Now, supposedly these mushrooms don't have that in it, but when you cultivate these mushrooms, they have different chemicals that still give you the trip factor. They even have the mushrooms, if you can see in this, the red and white mushrooms that you see in like Mario and all those. Yeah. Well, they sell those mushrooms too, and those mushrooms will also give you a trip. They sell you the spore kit so you can grow your own mushrooms. And at that point, you can do your own thing, I guess.
That does look like a Mario mushroom.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
So, it's kind of interesting, to this extent. Do I like things like this? I don't know how I feel about this because regulation comes into play. Are these really good things that are going to be going into the public? Obviously, I think that, magic mushrooms and psilocybin is going to become legal to a certain extent because of all the research that's coming out there. Ketamine's another one. Ketamine used to be a party drug, looked highly frowned upon, and now it's being used all over the place for depression, PTSD. They're being able to prescribe this via telemedicine now. So that is, I never thought I'd seen that in a million years, guys. I'm just being honest with you. Because usually people would get ketamine, they put it in a microwave, they cook it up, I guess, and then they'd snort it or inject it or whatever the hell they were doing with it. But this is definitely a crazy one. So I want to go buy this place, and I want to see what this is all about. I really do. I know if you ask, if you can grow the psilocybin, then they can't service you at all. Is what they said in this article. So that must be the legal because before, if you were in the smoke shops before medical marijuana, you're like, is this pipe for smoking medical marijuana?
Yeah,
and they're like, you gotta go.
Yeah,
you're out. Yeah,
they have the tobacco bongs, the tobacco pipes.
But now it's not like that, right? Yeah. So I'm interested to see how this is. I definitely want to take a trip down there. Not a real trip, but I want to take a trip down there, literally, and see what's going on and how this is all working, right? And how this is all legal per se. I mean, I don't want to be shady to them, but I want to know how this is really working because, are kids allowed to go in there and get these things? Is this going to affect kids?
If it's the only one, I want to know.
It's the first and only one right now.
How long has it been going?
And they say they have magic mushrooms, but they're the chemicals that are different from psilocybin. So at that point, I want to know. I want to know how these work. I'm going to look up this stuff more for you guys and give you my opinion on this stuff. But, if you're into these things and stuff like that, I know that magic mushrooms with psilocybin has been a big popular thing, and it's definitely helped people as far as with depression, PTSD, and other things get over some of these things that they're dealing with. So is it good? We'll see. I mean, like I said, the microdosing portion is what they've been looking at, but a lot of people are macrodosing. That means they're taking a high amount, just a trip, and it's just going to get into kids and schools. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. But it's interesting.
Yeah, it's definitely. I want to see is it safe? I mean, and if it doesn't have that ingredient in it, what are the effects? Is it similar?
So they say you do trip. If you want to just.
But if somebody, I've never taken mushrooms, but if somebody has already taken mushrooms and they've already tripped, and then tried this, I think those are the people who are going to be able to tell.
They'll be able to tell.
For a regular person who's never done mushrooms, if I went in there and took it, I tried it, I'd be like, I'd feel a certain way, but I'm not going to know what to gauge it off of.
Yeah.
What do you think about this? Chemicals.
Yeah, so they actually tell you what the chemicals are if you go a little bit lower in here. But that's what I'm saying. So they're giving you the spores to create these things. They can't sell any psilocybin mushrooms, right? But can they sell you the spores that will convert into the psilocybin once it grows, right? the mycelium for psilocybin mushrooms. So that's what I'm saying. So they're actually selling the spores possibly that are going to grow into this. And then they have another variation that has the fly agaric in it, right? And that's what the Mario mushroom has in it, fly agaric. And when they talk about this, they talk about how, this does have psychedelic properties, so you will trip off this. But then you start looking at some of the side effects. Diarrhea, drowsiness, possible death. So, and they're saying, well, you have to take a whole bunch of these for that to even happen. But everybody could be different, and this could affect different people in different ways. So, is it really safe to do? I think maybe a recommendation from a medical provider, maybe, or something like that, where they can look at medical history. And they have some different regulations in place where they're making sure that this is going to be safe for people out there, because people are dumb. They're putting NyQuil on chicken and cooking it.
Yeah.
What do you think that they're going to do with some stupid shit like this? Excuse my language. It's stupid.
Yeah, they're probably, and then once kids get a hold of it too, it's going to be a whole other thing.
Botanic acid and mucimol, whatever it is. So we'll see. It's a poison, and that's what it is.
Has anybody tried this, whether it's this place or a place similar, whether it's over the counter, under the counter? I want to know if you've tried it, and I want to know people that have tried actual mushrooms with that ingredient and have tried this. I want to know the difference, because I wouldn't be able to tell the difference.
I've never tried this. Yeah. Right? Have I tried psilocybin? Yes, I did in college for sure to see the experience. I know what it feels like as far as an euphoric feeling. Your brain does open up a little bit. It changes the chemicals in your brain. So can you get over some different things that you may have been dealing with that might have been keeping you down or tucked dark away? You could possibly get those out. Could it change the effects of the brain as far as feeling better, as far as mood? Yes. Now, taking too much, you can get paranoid. You start throwing up. You get diarrhea. I know people that have taken mushrooms, or I don't know in particular, but I know of cases where they took the wrong mushrooms. Yeah. And at that point, you're going to die, or something's going to happen to you really bad.
Hallucinate bad.
Yeah, so I think it's like anything else. It's not to be abused, but I think in the right situations, it can work well for somebody and help them. That's just my take on it. Everybody's got their different take on things.
2-minute warning.
All right. Well, let's get to the topics. All right. So 2022 Titan event schedule. We got 1022 Hurricane Pro in St. Petersburg with Tim Gardner and the whole crew there. We're going to be there representing at the Coliseum. That's where it's going to be at. We're going to have all kinds of Titan giveaways for you guys. Me, Big Drew, the crew is going to be there. We'll see you guys there in 1022. 11/6 Festival of Speed, the Ritz-Carlton Orlando. Getting excited for this one. It's right around the corner, man. And you know what? It's always a great time there. It's on a beautiful property there at the Ritz-Carlton.
It's one of my favorite car shows that we do.
It really is.
They're all good, but this is one of my favorite ones.
It really is. It's a unique event at a unique location. The other one that we do with Festival of Speed is in St. Petersburg at the Vinoy Park, and that's just a huge open space. Nice too as well. But with the Ritz-Carlton being there, it adds a little bit of flavor to it. Yeah. As far as class and all that.
Setup and just the way it's
really
right
nice.
On the water on the backside of the hotel. A little walk. I love it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. They have a nice pool there too.
Yeah,
so if you guys are going for the weekend, the pool's perfect. You can hang out at the pool and the cars are right there.
Yeah.
So it's perfect.
It is. Literally, you can get in the pool and then go out and take a look and walk around and stroll.
Get out in your bathing suit, throw on your flip-flops, grab a drink, put on your sunglasses, walk around, see the cars.
Oh, yeah.
Go back in the pool. It's a good time.
Oh, yeah.
Just make sure you come by the booth, though.
Definitely come by the booth, hit the iPad up, get a free T-shirt, take a picture with us, man. Come and comment, ask some questions, or just hang with us, man. It'll be a good time. I promise.
Check out Titan Fleet too.
That's
Titan
right.
Fleet will be out there.
Yeah, so I'm gonna line up the transportation for that because usually we take 2 cars, and me and Sharice drive them down. We're gonna have 3 this time, and so I'm gonna get a transport so I don't have to drive down and put the miles on the car, get them dirty before I put them out there.
Yeah.
But I got to find a transport that's going to do 3 cars, and we try doing enclosed so they don't get any damage on them. So, if you guys know anybody, let me know for enclosures and transportation for 3 vehicles. 12/3 Cars in Court Tour. This is going to be another amazing event presented by and sponsored by Titan Medical Center and put together by Lux Fashion Group. Donna Crawley, big shout out to her and all the crew that does that. It's always an amazing event every year, and this one's not going to be any different from that. Obviously, we're benefiting Autism Speech, which is a main charity that we always deal with Cars and Couture. So I'm really excited about this 12th annual Collectors Gala. So it should be a night to remember. Exotic and luxury cars displays, fashion show, live art, jazz band, crafted cocktails, auctions, and a lot more. Come and hang with us for this prestigious event that we do every year. 12/15 to 12/18, Olympia in Las Vegas will be in Nevada, Las Vegas, doing it up. Represent Titan Medical Center all the way through and through. Olympia is back in Las Vegas this year. We're excited about that. It's the first one Titan Medical Center will attend as a booth in Las Vegas. So we're going to be bringing out a lot of surprise for you guys, a lot of giveaways, so we can give them to you guys, show you guys some love, come take pictures with us, hang out with us. Then we'll get a lift to the Dragon's Lair with our dude, Flex Lewis, and see what's up. I think that's it, Drew. I think that's a show, man.
Yeah, that's pretty much it for topics and events. Again, if you guys want to know when the events are, you can tune in. Also, we do add new events.
Yep.
So if you're wondering what else is going on, just keep tuning in and keep being posted of new stuff that's going on. Check out the YouTube. Hit the bell so you're notified of videos. Yep. Facebook, Titan Medical 2.0. Also, you can check us out on the podcast if you want to listen to us.
Yes, sir. All right, big shout out to Christian, Strength Addicts, and everybody that joined us today. Hulk Squad, he said, I went in for my 2-month appointment for my hip doctor. Says I'm healing faster than normal. Again, nice. Right? BPC TV500, my man Hulk Squad, big shout out to him and everybody doing it up.
Hulk Squad loves that BPC.
Oh, dude, for sure. That's the only thing that's definitely helped him do this and get healed faster and quicker. So if you guys are looking for healing peptides, we got you covered in that aspect too as well. So have a great weekend, guys. We appreciate you joining me and Big Drew here for Titan Lifestyle every Friday at 2 p.m. And we went on the Titan Medical Center 2.0 page today to try to drive traffic there. We're giving that page some love. Maybe next week we'll be back on Titan Medical Center. So stay tuned to that. And we will see you guys next Friday, 2 p.m. for Titan Lifestyle with me and Big Drew.